Australia's poor policies for international students. In today's video update, we will talk about inconsistent student visa policies by Australian government, which is developing low-skilled guest worker society. Not long ago, Australia immigration rules kept foreigners out to curb the spread of pandemic. The move has been grueling to international students, whose study abroad aspirations were ruined with growing annoyances that seem never-ending. Border shutdowns in Australia have resulted in educational limbo, individual financial damages, and worsening mental health among international students. On the contrary, another debate has left policy experts whirled and dole out deterrent likelihoods over the state of Australia's higher education. Analysts fear that Australia may be a sinkhole of low-skilled guest worker society now that restrictions on the working hours of international students have been provisionally eradicated to fill labor shortages in essential services. The Australian Department of Home Affairs' alternation to the working hours for the subclass 500 student visa came under evaluation for refuting the Australian strategy for international education 2021-30 to impel for a more supportable sector in the post-pandemic economy. Remarking on this situation, Drivable Rizvi, an immigration policy expert, stated that such abrupt rules on immigration launched under explanatory conditions have a tendency to become permanent. The new rule also renders graduate employment freedom to offshore students, prolonging post-graduation work prospects to those who finished their studies abroad after being locked out of Australia. Scrutiny and temporary measures for Australian international students. International students registered in Australian universities have commended since the start of the COVID-19 pandemics. Australia's international border lockdown initiating in March 2020 left many international students upset because of the struggling interference in study plans, ruining the dream study abroad experience that many had imagined. Some have given up hope completely, and left for greener educational meadows in other nations that are friendlier to international students. While this rule could be validated where public health is affected, it has indeed flopped economically. Australia's international enrollment numbers plunged between 9% to 35% in several respected universities in the first semester of the year 2021 when compared to the same time frame in the year 2019. The absence of international students in Australia is hard on the Australian economy. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, only in the year 2019, international education accounted for over 40 billion Australian dollars to the economy. Not having international students actually is undesired news for local proprietors who depend on them to keep businesses running. Please keep in mind that Australia's temporary modifications on student visas and the post-study work visa is a useful move to stimulate a sector that is losing out to nations in the Northern Hemisphere. But the real question is, where do international students stand in this situation?